What's going on, people? It's your boy Game27, and once again, thank you for joining my channel. Today I want to talk about this Scropio and this Pro situation, on how I feel about it, get my overall thoughts and opinions about it. But as y'all remember last year at E3, whenever the Xbox One was presented and we all liked it and everything, when they said it had a 4K Blu-ray player, and it's an attractive looking console. You know, everybody's hyping and everything. And of course, there was already rumors about the Scropio, the Project Scropio, for months prior to E3 of last year, E3 2016. And towards the end of the show, that's when they actually announced that there is a Scropio, you know, in production. But they didn't show us the console yet. They just told us about the power, the potential of it, and everything. And a lot of people got excited and everything. But there's a question that a lot of people want to know. How is this Scropio and this standard Xbox One going to work together? Because just looking at the fact that the Scropio is like 4 or 5 times more powerful than the standard Xbox One, you will think that the Scropio is the next generation console, but it's a mid-generation console. I still just don't understand. For something that to be that much more powerful is still tied to the Xbox One. I don't understand. But basically, people wanted to know that as far as the frame rates and everything, the visuals, everything, is there going to be parity? Is there going to be parity between the Xbox One and the Scropio? People want to know. And basically, Phil Spencer came out and said that nobody is going to be left behind. And after that, people was kind of confused and everything. It's like Microsoft, they just keep changing it up. But we already know why they said that nobody's going to get left behind, because they wanted to sell those Xbox One S consoles. That's what it was. Because if they said that after the Scropio launch, you know, then the standard Xbox One's gonna basically, you know, be left behind. If they would have come out and said that last year, then the Xbox One S wouldn't sold like it's selling right now. The Xbox One S, it's still selling pretty good right now. But that's why they said that. It's PR talk. You can't really never trust them. And a few days ago, the vice president from Microsoft said that it's up to the developers to basically either if they wanted to put these games at 30 frames per second or 60 frames per second. So they basically saying that it's up to the developers. They have the power, whatever, to utilize all the hardware as they want. If they want to use if they want to put 60 frames per second on the Scropio with these games, they can. If they want to do a native 4K, they can. It's up to the developers, and that's why I kind of have an issue right there. Because if it's all up to the developers, then we know that not every game is gonna be at 4K 60. We know that they're not gonna utilize all the power of this console, because if you look at the fact that the PlayStation 4 is the leading console in this generation by a large margin, you know, selling 60+ million versus what Microsoft's 28-30 million. So it's not even a contest. And plus, Sony got all these marketing rights to these big name companies, you know, like Activision. I believe Microsoft has EA, I think. But I know Sony, they got the marketing rights to Destiny, so they got marketing rights to a lot of companies. They got the marketing rights to Red Dead Redemption, I believe. Don't correct me if I'm wrong. But they got a whole bunch of marketing rights than Microsoft this generation. And Phil Spencer said that he's not a big fan of you know, paying for, you know, to market third-party games on their console. He said he's not a big fan of that. And look at the situation Xbox One is right now. Everybody got a PlayStation console because of the marketing. It ain't just marketing rights. It's the brand recognition. It's the fact that the PlayStation 4 basically got more games. It's more powerful, and plus it was at a $400 price point at launch day compared to the $500 price point with the Xbox One. So yeah, Sony kind of, you know, one-upped them a lot towards the beginning of the generation. But right now, I feel that these developers is not I'm not saying all of them, but I'm saying at least maybe half of them is not going to utilize the full potential of this Scropio because of Sony. They the league dogs in this generation, and plus they want the parity. They, you know, like I said a while ago, with the marketing rights, they don't want to market, you know, these games towards the PlayStation 4, you know, and basically they said And on top of that, people find out that the Scropio is a lot more powerful. The frame rate is a lot better than the Pro. So it's just stuff like that got me wondering on how they're going to do this, since Microsoft said it's up to the developers. That's what's worrying me. But if we know that it's a Xbox One exclusive, Xbox Scorpio exclusive, whatever, we know they're going to utilize the full potential. We know, because Microsoft, you know. But anybody else, like, it's going to be parity. We've been having issues with console parity this generation. That's been an issue. That's why I advise people, like, if you want a powerhouse console or whatever, get a PC. Get a PC, you get to play your games however you want. So from 60 frames to 120 frames to 2K to 4K, however you want to play this game, however you want to play your games. Like, get a PC. Get a PC. If you want free online, get a PC. Like, there is a lot of advantages that the PC has, you know, than what the console people don't have. But it sounds, don't get me wrong, it sounds very promising getting a Scropio because of the powerhouse. You know, according to Microsoft, they not gonna hold back the Scropio owners, because it won't be fair to pay a premium product and get held back by the people that got the standard Xbox One. I said this analogy a long time ago. You know, like, basically it wouldn't be fair, like, for me to pay for premium fuel, but I get the regular unleaded fuel for my car. Like, it's not fair. So that's how I feel about this Scropio. And of course, gonna be some people gonna be crying, complaining when they find out that there's gonna be some exclusive Scropio games, because there's gonna be a lot of resources, a lot of money and time, you know, for them to make exclusive Scropio games and port them down to the Xbox One. So that's why people want to know, why is this console a mid-generation console? Just make your next generation. So it's just a lot of confusion about that. So just by Microsoft and Sony having these mid-generation consoles, they basically are prolonging this console generation. So I guess, speaking of Sony, of course, the Pro that just came out a few months ago, back in November, now there's a rumor for a PS5, in which some people just hype this stuff up, like Stone Fox Media. You already know how he is. Like, there's a lot of ponies out there just hyping up a PS5. Like, I'm like, are you serious? Are you serious? Like there is still life left with this PlayStation 4, and it's just by these people being graphics whores. They don't mind Sony coming out with a hardware every single year. Like, how is this okay, people? Like I want to enjoy my PS4 for at least a couple more years before PS5 come out. Like, let's just be honest. The first couple of years of the Xbox One and the PS4, it was garbage. Too many remasters, too many broken games, too many broken promises. The first couple of years of the Xbox One and the PS4 was trash. And now I feel that we are starting to get a lot of, you know, good games and everything. I don't want this train to stop, because we starting to get a lot of good games. And I hate for us to get a lot of good games, then with this talk with the Scropio, this PS5 come, and now boom, we back to square one. Back to square one. Now people, they talk about power more than they talking about video games. Like, that's what's worrying me right now, people. Like, I will at least want this generation to last at least a couple more years. Like, Sony they came out with 3 hardwares last year, with the Slim, VR, and the Pro in 2016. And now if Sony come out on stage talking about a PS5 or a possible PlayStation Switch, in which there's been rumors that they're going to try to take that market away from Nintendo with trying to have some kind of PlayStation portable Switch, whatever you want to call it. But it's just to a point that, don't get me wrong, that's a good idea. That is a good idea. I would love for Sony to do something like that, but now is not the time. Y'all gotta remember, the Wii U came out in 2012. The Xbox One and the PS4 came out in 2013. So Nintendo had a year start on Sony and Microsoft, and plus the Wii U sucked. That's why they had no choice to come out with another generation console. The PS4 is selling great. The Xbox One is selling good. It's still outpacing the 360, but the PS4 is basically outpacing the PS2. So why do you want to fix something that it's not broken? That's my issue here. That's my issue. That's why I'm saying that, you know, with this rumors, this talk of the PS5, that's telling us that Sony has made a mistake with the Pro. Maybe they should have held back in that Pro and just basically just put more time and effort, you know, on the Pro, so it can be on par with the Scropio. Like, we just got all this hardware. Why do we want more? I want to at least wait a couple more years. That's my issue with this. Like, even with the Scropio, like, they should have waited at least a couple more years for these consoles to come out. They should have just made that the 9th generation console. So basically, by them coming out with these mid-generation consoles during the 8th generation, then how long is this generation gonna last? Because are we gonna have a 360 and a PS3 situation again? I don't know. But if there's going to be a PS5, that's a no-no. That's a no-no. We just had a Pro. We just had a Pro. Like, how can you even trust Sony again if they would do something like this, coming out with another console a year after they just released a more powerful console? Like I said, man, that's that Sega stuff. Sega did that same shit with the Genesis, and instead of them putting all their time and effort into the Sega Saturn, they went ahead and made a Sega 32X, the Sega CD. They put all that resource towards their Genesis. The Sega Saturn could have been a lot more successful if Sega didn't pull that bullshit. That's what I'm saying. And right now, if Sony thinking about showing more hardware this E3, they're pulling the Sega. I'm not saying that Sony's going to basically go bankrupt, or Sony is going to, a lot of fans going to leave Sony. I'm not saying that, but it's going to basically leave a bad taste in a lot of PlayStation fans' mouths. And like I said a long time ago, like, I just got back with PlayStation. My last PlayStation that I owned was a PS1, and I just got a PS4. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, just chill, Sony. Just at least wait a couple more years before you talk about a PS5. If you just came out with your mid-generation console a few months ago, wait a couple more years until you announce a PS5. Because if a PS5 come out next year, I don't see how I can still buy your products. I'm just being honest. This mid-generation consoles, that's the worst thing that happens to gaming. I'm just being honest. Like, these graphics whores in this gaming industry, y'all ruining this gaming industry. Y'all graphics whores, because all y'all care about is 4K resolution. Y'all care about 4K this, 4K that, but you don't play games. Y'all don't fucking play games. Some of y'all motherfuckers in this damn community, I know some of y'all. I am friends with some of y'all on Xbox Live. You over there hyping up 4K this on Shadow of Mordor, but I'm over looking at your gamer score on Shadow of Mordor. No, let me see. No, the Shadow of War game. Shadow of War, when that got announced, it was somebody in this community was hyping up Shadow of War because it was going to be in 4K. Check his gamer score. He got 20 points. 20 points. One achievement. He unlocked one achievement on Shadow of Mordor. But he's hyping up Shadow of War. Graphics whores. Graphics whores don't play games. I play games. That's what I'm saying. A lot of these people in this community, they play graphics more than they play games, and they ruining this gaming industry. I'm just being honest. I'm just not a big fan of what's going on inside this industry. I could go all day about this single player, this multiplayer. I could make that could be another video, because it seems that some of these companies is basically going to focus more on multiplayer than single players, because multiplayer games make more money because they're gonna microtransaction your ass. Ubisoft, they already came out and said they are expecting more money, more revenue in 2018, or they're going to release less games. What they tell you, they're gonna fuck you in the ass, and that's gonna be the trend for not only Ubisoft, EA, Activision. Everybody gonna do the same thing, and bam, this gaming industry is fucked, and y'all are to blame for this bullshit. But I don't want to get off topic. That's another video. I done got way off topic, but y'all know what I mean. I'm not a big fan of the Scropio and the Pro coming out so suddenly. They should have saved that for the 9th generation consoles, and just let the rest of these 2 to 3 years play out. That's how I feel about it. But anyway, y'all just give me y'all thoughts and y'all opinions on how y'all feel about the Scropio and the Pro. I know some of y'all going to basically be in my comment section and just troll the fuck out of me, talking about, what are you talking about? It's been 5 years. It's been 5 years since these consoles been out. Oh, 5 years. 5 years. Excuse me. 5 years for the PS4 and the Xbox One. That's going to be November of 2018. We are in what, May of 2017. So let the 5 years play out first before we start talking about the Scropio or PS5, whatever. I don't care no more. But like I said, give me y'all thoughts and y'all opinions on how y'all feel about this. Are y'all a big fan of these mid-generation console cycles? If you are, let me know how y'all feel about it in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Twitter. And once again, it's your boy JDauntless. Y'all have a good day. Peace out.